Today the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders have put together a little poetry reading, and we will be reading 3 traditional poems and a couple other self-written poems. So first we're going to start with Emily Dickinson's Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Ready? Begin.
Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. We passed the school where children strove at recess in the rain. We passed the fields of gazing grain, we passed the setting sun. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only gossamer my gown, my tippet only told. We paused before a house that seemed the swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Since then, 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day. I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity.
Our next poem is Life is Fine by Langston Hughes. And this poem was, this poet was from the Harlem Renaissance. Okay. Life is fine. Ready? Begin.
I went down to the river. I sat down on the bank.
I tried to think but couldn't, so I jumped in and sang.
I came up once and hollered. I came up twice and cried. But if that water hadn't been so cold, I might have sick and died.
But it was cold in that water. It was cold.
I took the elevator 16 floors above the ground.
I thought about my baby and thought I would jump down.
I stood there and I hollered. I stood there and I cried.
If it hadn't been so high up there, I might have jumped and died.
It was high up there. It was high.
Since I'm still 11, I guess I will live on.
I could have died for love, but for living I was born.
Though you may hear me holler, and you may see me cry.
I'll be dog shit, baby, if you're gonna see me die.
Life is fine, fine as wine. Life is fine.
I hear us.
I've been dog.
Okay. Our next poem is a William Shakespeare poem. Yes. This is Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare. And just so you know, a sonnet always has 14 lines. Right. When in disgrace
With fortune in men's eyes, I all alone do meet my outcast state, and shudder deaf heavens with my hopeless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate. Wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy and contented least, yet in me serve myself almost despising. Happily I feel needy in my state, like to the lark at break of day arising, from southern earth sings hymns at heaven's gate, for thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I sworn to change my state with kings.
So that's the end of our traditional poetry. And now we're going to read some self-written poems by the students. First this is The Negro Speaks of Mountains by Sophia and Zephyr. I've known mountains as sandy and old as the day its country was liberated. My soul has stretched like a blanket of grass, thick and strong and attached to its home. I've bathed in rivers of blood and courage. I've farmed unsoiled, then rich and new. I've walked across the pebbled rivers of Little God. I've walked on fine sand seen through clear blue waters with their subtle waves. I've heard the sweet song of the bright hummer and the people in harmony. I've known mountains, tall green mountains, and my soul has grown deep within them. Up next is Jean Bernard.
We're in school by Jean Bernard. We're in school for 8 whole hours. I miss the smell of lavender flowers. Every morning I don't delay. I'd rather be home to stay. I always get to school on time to write these devastating rhymes. I love it. I love it so. I wish my school was as Funny by Jane Bernard. Funny how nature just knows how to make things that are good for you. Funny how we take advantage of nature. Funny how most of us don't thank God and His creation. Is it funny or is it society? Please tell me, because I don't get the joke.
Up next is Juhi Choi.
Nothing is forever by Jasmine Mohammed. Nothing is never sour. It is very hard to hold. The leaf sprouts from what's on the flower, but in time it will grow old. The leaf then goes back down its hole, proving nothing will always hold.
Up next is Deanna Dunbar.
A dead heart by Deanna Dunbar. Sometimes I feel like my heart is dead, and I feel so alone even as I exist, and I'm awake all around me. I feel so cold, it's as if my soul is in a black hole, and it feels like I'm not coming out.
Up next is Jasmine Mohammed.
God Made Life by Gary Ramirez. Life is supposed to be happy, not sad. Life is supposed to be wondrous, not mad. I think life is a marvelous haven, not a fraud. And for that I thank God. We don't pay God with sins, we do it with evil grants. That to me is evil. Instead, we should thank Him with love and care. And we can all share the feeling of love and care.
Up next is Shannon Gill.
You had to show.
You can't say that.
It's my phone.
This Life of Mine by Julie Choi. My life is hard as a rock. It's hard and still a stone. The life I had was gone and past, and now that you may know, the night slowly drove my body and threw my heart away. The past is gone, present is here. Either way.
Taman Montanaro.
Think of all the goods by Ben Charles Van. There are many goods in life, like your husband or your wife. Think of all the goods there are, like a brand new motor car. All the bads will be replaced, so take your time, don't be raced. All the love can be yours. God's heart given, happiness galore.
Yeah, I was reading two poems. So this is this poem.
Life and Death by Jinsung Andy Lim. Some people believe in death, others in eternal youth. But some people don't understand that we can really choose. You can choose what to do, but only one that you can do. If you do, you might regret what you choose. Some people believe in death, others in eternal youth. Don't mistake death or eternal youth, because once you can choose.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Next we have Mark Dunbar.
What if by Tommy Montanaro. What if our time was up? No one would know where we would go. What if, not knowing, not seeing, if it was over for you and me? What if, would you cry? Would you lie? What if? If you knew, what would you do? Would you say farewell to the ones you love? What if? Would you shake in fear? Would you quake in horror? What if? Would you shout? Would you be a doubt? What if? Would you go in peace or in fear? What if?
What's that? Very questionable. Up next is Gary Ramirez. Hello,
Is by Shannon Gill. Some say the earth was made by God. Some say it came from air. From what I notice, I came to favor God and not in fire. I think I don't have a lot of hate, but is that so great? Is it wrong to believe in God, or is it wrong to believe in fire?
Up next is Lexis Conway's poem Slavery, but I'll be reading it. Oh, this is a previous poem. Slavery by Lexis Conway. I cut my hands with wire, I bleed with steel on my face. Nothing can stop the way of race. I work hard night and day, wondering how people see my face. No one in the world can see the real person inside of me. Last but not least is Benjamin Van Gelder.
Hot and Cold by Mark Dunbar. It's cold. It's hot. It's winter. Or is it summer? Some like it hot, some like cold. Hot is burning. Cold is freezing. Some like it hot, some like it cold, some like it hot. I like hot. What do you like?
Well, that wraps up our poetry readings. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.
All right.